Hello everybody, in this video I have amazing game for you. This is a roguelite bullet hell game in virtual reality. This is also a mixed reality mode. I'm going to share with you in a moment. So some may call it roguelike. I call it roguelite because there is some progression that is maintained, upgrades that are maintained in between runs. So you get a currency and you can make upgrades that are permanent for your character. There are incredible boss fights, and sometimes I really don't know how to call it. If you call it first person or third person, because you're playing with a character which you control with your hand, but you can see it as a gun, so it might see as a first person. Well, now this game is so polished, it's unbelievable. It just ticks all the right boxes when it comes to visuals. It looks incredible. Although I expect it to look incredible now on the Quest 3. And yeah, I'm playing this on the Quest 3, just keep in mind. And basically we start the game this in a little room, and you're gonna grab a little toy, a little kind of a girl, fighting girl that calls Yuki. And you will control this character throughout the fights. Basically, it's kind of attached to your controller. You can change between right hand and left hand, depends on which one you feel more comfortable with. There's also going to be a little dude there, robot dude, they're going to be attached to your left hand. And basically, this is a bullet hell game. You need to protect your Yuki, you don't need to protect the other one, from actually getting hit. Both of them will have different type of abilities which you can use, but basically again this is a shooter game, so you're going to be shooting a lot, but there are different abilities and upgrades and power-ups that you're going to unlock on the way. For example, one of your abilities for Yuki is to activate a shield. You do it with A button. And the other one for the pod is, again, the shield breaks the projectiles, those that flies towards you for a short time. You can extend it later on with upgrades. And the other one can, for example, freeze. The pod can actually freeze all enemies, which makes them basically kind of a stun. They won't be able to shoot, and then you can just eliminate them.
Ah, that's cool.
Alright, just so you know, the Guardian lines you're going to see are recorded unintentionally. Sorry for that in advance. Next time I'll make sure that they won't be visible, but this is again not part of the game unless you made it so you can see them, of course. But usually when I show gameplay, I don't show them. So let's side to the game. Like a good roguelite and roguelike game, you're going to find temporary upgrades like you see here. Can give you, for example, the ability to shoot faster or change your shots to be more powerful, and many other options. These are random, alright? So again, you can increase the number of options available using upgrades, but basically they are random. So you basically create your build depends on the permanent upgrades and the temporary upgrades that are available for you during the run. And when you fail, your health reaches 0, you're going to go back to the hub. This is where you can actually see all your upgrades. Choose the one that's available for you after a run, which are also randomized, by the way. Some of them are rarer than others. There's also a currency that you collect during your run, and you can use it to buy those upgrades. You can also unlock new blade wings, depends how you progress through the levels. And for example, this is the first one. The next one is going to be one that allows you to shoot projectile that automatically home onto enemies, compared to the first one, we just, you need to aim in order to hit precisely. And you can see all the different game modes. There's an arcade mode, mixed reality mode, endless mode, and the patrol mode is basically the campaign. The game also has a global leaderboard, so you can see your standing compared to other ones. For example, this is the endless mode. Let me show you. In the endless mode, you need to survive as long as possible. You're going to find 4 frequent upgrades, but it's very, very challenging. And again, endless. So you need to make sure that you are creating a good build that you already may be familiar with, or know that there's good synergy in order to be able to finish it. Again, this is a bullet hell. It's going to be crazy. Remember, only your Yuki character needs to be protected, not the other one, the other side. And basically the way to do it, you just make sure it won't get hit. There's some pattern. Usually enemies try to target, not usually, all the time, they try to target your Yuki. So if you move your character a lot, this means the projectiles will kind of swivel away. So this is one way to kind of make sure not all projectiles are at you at a given time and try to avoid them. Another thing to note that all levels are procedurally generated. This means that it's going to be different every time. You're going to see different obstacles, different type of patterns of shooting, different enemies appearing. So again, both for the campaign, by the way, everything is procedurally generated. Now, when you play the campaign, if you die, you're actually going to see your progression. You can see where the bosses are located and how you progress. You need to finish this entire run in one go. You're also going to gain experience to level up your character. You can see the results at the end of the run. Now, speaking of which, we can't do without boss fights, and the game features incredible boss fights. Of course, we can't really tell you how beautiful it is because everything appears big when you are inside in virtual reality. And this really reminds me of Returnal. So if you love Returnal and you like roguelite games, you're gonna love it. Also, the music in this game is fantastic. You can play both seated and standing, and you can just reset, by the way, the position if you press both the triggers button at the same time. So in any moment, if you decide now, alright, I'm gonna sit and continue playing, just press the trigger buttons and just gonna adjust the height.
Level up!
Now you can see the health bar at the bottom of the character. Basically, you can collect health and heal, and of course, if you reach 0, you die and need to start from the beginning. Now, not for some players, it might be demotivating starting from fresh, but this game is designed so well, both in terms of the length of the different level, so in terms of play session length, and also give you some really amazing upgrades that you really want to try out, and of course, being able to create builds and maybe get some good drops that make you so powerful. This is what makes roguelite and roguelike games so incredibly addicting. Now, the level design is among the best that I've seen for such a bullet hell game. Absolutely fantastic. First of all, beautiful. The color palette looks so beautiful. All the other elements are so beautifully designed and different from each level. Also, the contrast and the saturation is very well made, so you can easily see the projectiles where they are coming from, which is very important for a bullet hell game. Now, another important thing to note regarding hand fatigue, this is something that is very important for VR. The thing is that because you're going to move a lot in this game, you move your hands a lot, your blood will be flowing faster, and basically you won't even feel it. You won't feel that, your hands are tired. This can be true, by the way, in games that are slower. You're holding your head for a long period of time without actually moving a lot. So in this game, because you move your hand a lot, you won't actually feel any hand fatigue. Or if you do, it's going to be very little degree. Now, Yuki already gave me some really strong 90s arcade kind of a hype and feeling. I don't know, something nostalgic. Maybe the music, the combination of the visual just took me back to the 90s arcade. Speaking of arcade, there's an arcade game mode in mixed reality. Now, I played the mixed reality on the Quest 3. Sorry for my room, is going to go for some changes very soon. Basically, again, this is a separate game mode where enemies will spawn from different portals that will be positioned on your walls. Now, before that, I actually was more excited to play the mixed reality because I'm so hyped for all the mixed reality content. But to be honest, the virtual reality felt much better here. There's one thing when it comes to playing a 360, I never really was into it. I felt like they're actually a bit annoying. I don't really like turning around a lot. Now, again, in this game, maybe it's going to get more active. It seems balanced in a way. But again, this is less problematic for me because, again, I can actually see my room. So moving around, again, it's not really that much of annoying because I can see everything. So this is something compared to if you have maybe worse visuals like the black and white, where you can't really see a lot of things clearly. It might be more annoying. So overall, it was a good experience, but definitely I love the VR better. And again, because enemies also fly here, they don't really interact with the other things prior to the environment. It's just all those portals actually spawn. So it really, this game is not really taking advantage of the depth scanning feature to a high degree to make the game really exciting in mixed reality. Still fun though. Now, as I mentioned, the game really reminds me of Returnal. I got lots of Returnal vibes when playing it. What you see here is actually Returnal on the PlayStation 5, which in my opinion is one of the best roguelike game ever made. Incredible, with all the beautiful and saturated particles flying at you. Very well made in terms of contrast to really make it easier for you, of course, to see where projectiles are coming from and make the game, of course, feels more dramatic and exciting. And when I played Yuki, I really got to the time where I actually played Returnal. It actually made me want to play Returnal again. The one thing this was something a bit odd, but again, that I didn't like is the controller. But the thing is that with the left controller, I needed to use the left trigger to freeze. Whatever if I'm with the shield, I need to use A because I'm shooting with the trigger button. So it felt a bit odd for me. Sometimes, you know, when you were in the middle of the actions, I basically got confused. It's not a big deal, but something that was a bit annoying. You get used to it anyway. And one thing that I really want to add, last thing, is regarding the hand-eye coordination, which I think is incredibly well made in this game. Because again, you really don't mind your left hand intersecting with all the particles, whether with the right hand with YUKI, you do care. So you try to collect with your left hand and try to evade with your right hand while actually looking at all those particles flowing at you. So this leads to really a kind of fun and entertaining hand-eye coordination gameplay, which is done absolutely perfect in this game. So everything said and done, including all the different game modes, the amazing visual, the fantastic music, the amazing eye-hand coordination gameplay experience, the boss fights, all the different upgrades that are available for you, both the permanent and the temporary ones, the procedure-generated levels that makes each one feels unique. The game also gave me amazing arcade Grateful vibe feelings and so addicting with very fair difficulty. The mixed reality game mode left some to be desired, but overall the game is just a perfect roguelite game to play in virtual reality. Thanks for making it. Get the game.